Hello. Welcome to the stream. I am super excited. That at least some of you came, and I'm so excited that we've made it to affiliate, and that's super cool. And today, I am Liah Foxtrot. My two favorite things are tea and astronomy. And while I am not the most knowledgeable about either subject, I really do love them. And so today, to celebrate my making affiliate, I will be doing some stargazing with you all. Oh, hi! Thanks for the follow, Saisei. So, today, right now, specifically, we are going to travel. Some of you maybe not so far, but we're going to travel. We're traveling to Tokyo. Mostly because it's dark. If you are watching and are from a region where it is dark outside right now, we can easily go and see the stars from where you live. So let me know. So behold the night sky. If you lived in Tokyo, and if there were a giant power outage that would cause all the lights to go off, you would see the stars like this in the sky. We have the lovely things, right? Light pollution is the worst. So we have our little arrows that tell us what direction we're facing, which is super useful for us. So let's say that we are facing north. And how do we find Polaris? We basically just look all the way straight up. And then we see a bright star. And then boom, it's Polaris. This is a fun app called Stellarium. Yeah, right? Right, Crit? Shiny things. The Polaris is a pulsating variable star, so it's easy to spot in the night sky if you know where to look. And if we just turn our attention, over here, disregarding the planets for a hot minute, we can see some really nifty things. So the brightest star in our night sky is Sirius. It's over here, and it is part of the constellation Canis Major, which is the big dog. It is the big doggo. And these cool stars over here are an easy to spot constellation known as Orion, because you can see the belt because the three stars are so close to each other that it looks just like a belt. And also Rigel and Betelgeuse, two of the stars in the constellation, are super bright and part of the top 10 brightest stars in the sky. So I will turn on a little cheat for us and turn on the constellation lines, because it's so much easier to see what's going on if you don't have your eyes trained by turning on the constellation lines, and we can see how everything matches together. We can see the dog over here with Sirius, not too far away is the Canis Minor. It has two stars in its constellation, which I think is adorable. Oh, it's okay, Bjorn. As long as you don't say it 3 times uninterrupted, it's okay. So I can say Betelgeuse and then say other words, and it doesn't summon him. So here are the constellations in the night sky if you were to see it from Japan right now. Of course, this is at the latitude of Tokyo, so it might look a little bit different depending on where you are. Let me turn on the constellation names. So we have Hydra, which is the big snake. It stretches across so much of the night sky. I'm just going to zoom out a little bit. And then we have Leo, which to me, Leo looks like one of those old school mice. Like a computer mouse. And so we have like a giant triangle and all these other things, and it's like really funny. So you might notice, if we zoom out a little bit more, that some of these names look familiar, such as Virgo, Leo, Cancer, Gemini, and there's a reason for that, and that the constellations of the zodiac are, that's not the right one, are related to each other in terms of their local position. So if we decided to speed up time, because we can do that, you'll see that they're all following a very similar path. So this is where I believe the horoscopes come from, because of course it doesn't perfectly match up because this is viewing from Tokyo and not wherever horoscopes originated from, but they all follow a path and are all like circular in sync with each other, and it's really nifty. So we see now that it's almost dawn, Venus is over here. So let's zoom in on Venus. And we see that it's beautiful. Morning, Jin. How are you doing today? That's true. So I say I didn't see your message before, but that is true about Betelgeuse. It's very possible that it has become a supernova and we just don't know yet, simply because it's so far away. And it takes a long time for light to reach us. So we see Venus here, but there's also a few other planets that we can see at various times of the night. So if I rewind a little bit, back to approximately where we're at. If I can find it. I could have sworn that Mars was still in the night sky. Let's see if we can find it. Because I wanted to show, there it is. There's Mars. Because Mars and Uranus are actually really close to each other at this time of year. Well, I shouldn't say this time of year. Aw, thanks, Blade. So here's Mars, and we can actually zoom in. You can probably see, and there's Deimos and Phobos, just from your eyes, depending on your light pollution, you can actually see Mars in the night sky right now. It'll appear as like a little red dot. Nice. Thanks for looking that up, Bjorn. Yeah, the zodiacs are based around the celestial equator. It is. Mars is in the sky pretty often. It does set a little later in the night, but in the beginning of the evening, you can definitely see Mars with your own eyes. Now, Uranus, while it is close to Mars in the night sky right now, is too dim for most of us to see with our bare eyes. You would have to be, hold up, there we go. You would have to either live in a very dark region with not a lot of light pollution, or you would have to just have a binoculars or a basic telescope to see it. And it looks really cool. And sometimes you can even see the various moons with it. Let's just zoom back out. Yeah, Uranus is a pretty funny name. You have to wonder, what came first? So I'm going to turn off the lines to show tracking of the planets. And I'm going to show you one of my favorite star clusters. Does light pollution make it impossible to watch the night sky even with the telescope? So with light pollution, what you're going to experience is kind of like a dimming of the stars, more or less. So you won't be able to see anything darker than X amount. So like, for instance, if you were in New York City, you probably would be able to see Sirius. You would, of course, be able to see the sun because it's so close to us. And there's, you probably would be able to see maybe Rigel and Betelgeuse. And anything greater than, anything with a magnitude less than 1, I'm fairly certain you can see while with having really bad light pollution. You would not be able to see stars such as, like, I can't pronounce that one. Hold up, let me find one that I can pronounce. You wouldn't be able to, I can't pronounce that either. You wouldn't be able to probably see Arneb. It's just too dim with light pollution. It basically creates a filter over the night sky, which prevents you from seeing the dimmer objects. For instance, back when, before the light bulb was invented, it was a very, like, anyone could see the Milky Way at night. But with light pollution, it's really hard for most people, especially if you're in an urban or suburban area, to see the Milky Way. And in fact, most, I shouldn't say most, but a good number of stars that are common in constellations. So one of my favorite star clusters, actually, is the Pleiades. And it's over here in Taurus by one of what I think of as the legs. So the Pleiades are also known as the Seven Sisters. Living close to a harbor that bleeds a lot of light pollution and can barely see any stars at all. Yeah. So what you can do to, if you have a telescope, there are these things called light pollution filters. And while they're not perfect, it does help to, it does help for you to take better images of stars in the night sky. So it'll counteract some of the light pollution that you might be experiencing at home. And for example, if you have a basic telescope with a mount for a camera, some of the newest versions of iPhones might be able to handle it and take good enough pictures. But, you know, one of those fancy photographer cameras, you can hook it up to a telescope and take pictures. And the telescope acts as a lens for you. And so what you can do is you add a filter to block the light pollution, and you can take images of more dim things than what you would have previously. So this is the Pleiades. As I said before, it's in Taurus. There's the Seven Sisters. And it's pretty cool. And if you are in a good enough spot, like a suburb or darker, like definitely rural would be able to see these, you would probably see it at about this amount of resolution. And it close up, they look really cool because there's like nebulosity and there's a whole bunch of stuff going on. And I think it's pretty wonderful. And if you live in a dark enough area with a good enough camera, you don't even have to have a telescope to take a really nice picture of the Pleiades. That is true, Tranquil. You can take a vacation to a campground in the middle of nowhere. Like, I won't say Yosemite, because but like someplace like a national park or someplace in the Alps where there's not a lot of light pollution. A very popular spot for various universities and people who have their main campus in a very light polluted area go and they build a location either in places like Hawaii or remote parts of Chile so that they can have really nice dark conditions for their observations. For instance, one of the major Japanese universities has a spot in Chile where they do their observational stuff for optical astronomy. Other types of astronomy, such as X-ray and radio astronomy, don't care about light pollution for obvious reasons. So now, I open the floor to being on a mountain also helps. Yes, being on a mountain, as long as you're not completely covered by trees, definitely helps with your viewing experience in terms of being able to see as many stars in the sky as you can. So I am opening up the floor for requests of various stars, star clusters, galaxies, and other things to see if you want. But in the meantime, I have a few that I think are pretty cool to view. So first, let's go to Andromeda, which should be around here. Here is the Andromeda Galaxy, which, surprise, is right next to the Andromeda constellation. And it is probably the biggest galaxy that we can see in our night sky. And it's super cool. And a lot of people tend to worry about whether the Andromeda Galaxy is going to collide with our galaxy and kill us all. But that's simply not going to happen because our sun is going to explode before that occurs, if I remember correctly. So we don't really have to worry about any galaxies colliding because we'll all be dead by then. Or moved to like different star clusters, depending on how space travel goes. So it's super nifty. And it is at a brightness where you can see the Andromeda Galaxy on a really clear night. If you're out in a rural area, you might not be able to discern what exactly it is, simply because it looks like someone left a thumb smudge on the night sky. So the Triangulum Galaxy should be around here somewhere. I wanted to show you. So I am going to cheat and use some helper points. Boop. Ta-da! These are my little cheat codes. They help me. Oh no. So the funny thing is that the Triangulum Galaxy has a lot of star-forming regions and a lot of nebulosity and a lot of interesting items. So the only problem is that because of that, it's hard to click on. But I think it's really cool because it's so many different star-forming areas really make it, right? It's super interesting. So, there's one more galaxy that I wanted to show you guys this morning, and that is the one in celebration of Hat Day yesterday. If it lets me type, the Sombrero Galaxy. Oh no, I messed up. It's too early in the night for it. Oh no. None of you saw that. So you might have noticed that if I search and it ends up taking me into the Earth, I lose all the stars for some reason. So I'm going to have to restart my application because it's not the best application, but it's so cool. So here is the Sombrero Galaxy. It looks like a hat. And it is, and we see this definition because of how it's positioned relative to where we are. So we're looking at, so while the galaxy is pretty flat and like circular, we're seeing the flat edge of it, which is super cool. It does. Sadly, we don't get margaritas on Friday afternoons, but crit, maybe. So first off, I'm going to go back to chatting while I restart the program. The program is a little janky at times, but hopefully, oh, thank you. I don't know what's happening because I can't see what's happening, but I heard a notification. Oh, thank you, Crit. Thank you for following. So let me... And we're back. Awesome. So let's go back to the game screen. Boom. There we go. It's back. That was actually really fast for my OBS to detect that it's back alive, because it's not technically a game. So it's just like, are you sure this is a game window? So those were the galaxies that I wanted to show you this morning. And there are a few clusters that I thought were pretty cool. What? I didn't destroy the universe? You're right. I did not destroy the universe yet. Big yet. So first off, there are a few clusters that some of them just have lovely names, such as the Hagrid's Dragon Cluster. I don't personally see it, but I love the name. Tranquil, could you take care of that, please? The Hagrid's Dragon Cluster, I don't see it. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it is super nifty. There we go. Okay, thank you. Thank you, mods. I was clearly just failing at clicking buttons. But then we have... There's one called the Electric Guitar Cluster, which actually... There are a few interesting and cool things already over here. So I would like to show you the Headhunter Cluster, which I don't get it. It probably doesn't have an image in the system, though. But we have the Rosette Nebula, which looks super awesome, right? The names are all super cool. And we have, like, it's a lovely red color. So just want to let you know about something in regards to color. So the way we get color in most astronomical objects is we take, at least in optical observations, what you do is you take various filters. So for instance, let's say we have a red filter, a blue filter, and a green filter. So the observation will be taken with a red filter, then an observation with a blue filter, then an observation with a green filter. Ideally for all at the same time, same night conditions. So what some people do is they have an apparatus with a camera that has all three filters attached to it, and so you can view it. And then after you have these observations, you put them together into a composite image, and you adjust the levels of what's more important. And so sometimes there is a little bit of artistic interpretation on what the true colors of, the true colors of a nebula or an interesting cluster might not be exactly what we see in our images. It's still super interesting and super cool, of course. So we have over here, I don't know which one this is, but it's cool. I don't understand what it is, but someone put a picture of it in it, and it clearly is a star-forming region with a reflection nebula. But let's see if they put a picture of it. Oh, cool, they did. Here's the Hubble's Variable Nebula. I am not centered on it. There we go. Hubble's Variable Nebula. I don't know much about it, but it looks like a handkerchief. Yes. Or just like a wisp coming in and just touching something. It's super cool. So, of course, right above it is some other interesting things, like the Christmas tree cluster, whatever this is. And there are some regions that might look more populated than others, but I assure you that it's the night sky and there's so many interesting things everywhere. This is just what's populated into this system. So another one, M3. So hopefully it is up right now. M3. It is! So M3 is a really cool cluster. It's a globular cluster. So we have a whole bunch of stars right near each other. So they all formed super close together, and eventually they're going to have a fight club. Some of them might not have fight club, but right now we can see a whole bunch of stars in such a teeny tiny of our viewing space, and it's super cool. Now there was one more cluster. So yeah, I am totally open for requests. If you guys have requests of certain stars, certain things that you see, if you think that something sounds funny, or you think that you want to see something in the night sky, just let me know, and I can go there. Now, we might have some errors occur, but that's okay. So here is another globular star cluster, and it just looks so nifty because it just looks like fireworks exploding. That's true. There are so many galaxies and nebulae. In fact, let's go to one of the most famous nebulae. Here we go. Orion. So in Orion's belt, we have a whole bunch of cool stuff. That's so cool. So first, there is a star cluster with a very, very small nebula over here with some other things. Then we have the Great Orion Nebula, and it's huge compared to a lot of things in our night sky. And it is gorgeous. It's just so pretty. It looks like a clam. So, let's see if we have Perseus up. Let's turn on. There we go. Perseus means that the Perseus cloud is over here. So here is the Perseus cloud. Now, you might be thinking, hey, this looks kind of similar to the Pleiades. And you're kind of right. It is a cluster, and it is associated with nebulosity. It's just significantly dimmer. so it's not as famous and doesn't have a fancy name. Did I see the conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn last year? Sadly, it was very rainy and stormy where I lived, so I couldn't see it visibly, but I was able to see some live streams and a few other things regarding the conjunction. It was super nifty. So, the next one I want to show you. There's the Pleiades right over there. I don't know what this is actually. Embryo Nebula. That sounds creepy. Oh man, that's cool looking. Phantom Tiara. I think I like the Phantom Tiara name better. But man, that's kind of creepy. I love it. It's amazing. Okay, yeah. So its magnitude is like 9. So we would not be able to see this with our bare eyes, even at the best conditions. Doesn't look that bad? Okay, Jin. Maybe I'm just a wuss. Maybe I'm a wuss. But, so the fun thing about magnitudes is that the higher a number, the dimmer it is. And it is a logarithmic scale. So or is it exponential? I don't remember. But the higher a number, it just gets super incredibly hard for the human eyes to see. So the human eyes, under the best condition, can see at most like 6, maybe a 7, but it's around 6 for what human eyes can see. Anything dimmer than that, like anywhere from 7s to 14s, or anything even higher number than that, we're just not going to be able to see without a telescope. So this is an example of a really cool nebula that we would need a telescope to see. Now, if you have light pollution, of course, the number is going to be smaller for what you can see, like 2 or 3, but an app like this, which is Stellarium, will let you see what's happening and what stars you might be able to see if you had a clear night, and also what stars you could see in what time of night specifically, because as you know, stars move. We all move. Stars move. We move. But the stars move in relative to where we're standing. So there's one that was the Wizard Nebula, which I hope is still up in the sky. Let's find out. You ready? Cross your fingers. Yes! Here is the Wizard Nebula. Isn't it so cute? It's super nifty. I don't personally see the wizard. I don't see it. But it seems cool. So, do we have any requests for objects or locations or times? We can actually go back in time to see what the stars looked like, say like 50 years ago, or even just last night. Wizard. Yes, Fina, it's a wizard. But it's okay. The wizard can't hurt us, I think. So here is... Ooh, I wonder if... that was the one I was going to show you next. Cool, I just clicked randomly. This is the Bubble Nebula. Okay. The Bubble Nebula is frequently... a lot of people frequently use their more heavy blue filter because the word bubble, and it looks cool. So the color range for this nebula in particular varies depending on what photographer took the picture. So it's pretty cool in my opinion. And it really does show how filters affect how you view an object. Let me type. Oh no! Mimas is underground. You know what Let's see. And what? I didn't do that. I didn't do that at all. So here we go. So because Saturn is very close to the sun right now, you won't be able to see it in the night sky. Not really. But it does. But if it is dark enough for you to see it, you would be able to see it. So there we go. And then here is the orbits of all of the various moons of Saturn. Southern hemisphere? I could jump back a few months. Let us... Date and time. Let's go to 2020. Yeah, sure. Why not? I don't know where we are, though. Oh! We caused it to crash. Yay! I mean, boo! Let's scroll back. There we go. Here is Saturn. It still would probably be hard to see. We'd have to wait for... yeah, it would still be too bright to see it. Oh no. Yeah, big. Oh no. Where are we? Oh jeez. What did I do? There we go. Nothing. No one saw that, guys. No one saw that. All you people did not see that. Southern hemisphere. Hey, I did crash it a little bit. I did go back a year. Okay. So I will close the program and then reopen the program. And then we can look at some Southern hemisphere stuff. So where in the Southern hemisphere would you guys like to go? Basically restricts you to Australia and New Zealand, though. Or, actually, I have no idea what other countries are in the Southern hemisphere. I just don't know these things. Oh, Saturn is best viewed in August. Oh, okay. I pressed the wrong button again. I'm sorry, guys. South Africa? Is South Africa dark right now, though? Let's look. Let's find out. Because I thought South Africa would still be bright out. That's why I didn't mention it. Let's look. South Africa. Yeah, it's too bright outside. Let's see. I mean, Madagascar's close. But, we go to Antarctica. Where it's every day is daylight. Let's just go to... Yeah, let's go to Perth. What about looking for the Whirlpool Galaxy? Right, I forgot about the Whirlpool Galaxy. Boom! It's in the ground. Oh no. Good news, guys. The stars did not turn off. Here is the Whirlpool Galaxy. It's super cool. You want to know why? Because it's taking stars and matter from a justifiable replacement for him. Oh man, I never read that before, but that's hilarious. So the Whirlpool Galaxy, it has a whole bunch of different names, but it is M51, and it interacts with this. So the Whirlpool Galaxy is actively stealing matter from this galaxy and merging it into itself, and it will assimilate everything. Justifiable replacement. Fildy, what was harsh? What was harsh about... What did I say that was harsh? I don't know what you're talking about. So if we were in Perth right now, it doesn't appear to be quite, like, dark yet. So let's turn on the constellation lines so we can get more of a feel for where we are. And you might see these weird bluish, greenish, shiny things, and that just means that it's a denomination for a meteor shower. And not every meteor shower is available to be viewed at every season, but it does say what position they'll be appearing from. Justifiable replacement is a harsh name. I mean, maybe. Lepidus as in the what is the rabbit? Oh man, I'm so not familiar with these. You can tell I'm from the Northern Hemisphere because like I'm confused. I don't mean to dox myself, but I'm just confused. Okay, I turned off environments. So sorry. So you can turn off the atmosphere. Is that the right way to... There we go. That was, you said an I. So here is Saturn's moon. It is glitching super hard on us. Oh, man. I definitely did not... Yeah. Sorry about... sorry, Jin, because I totally didn't read what you said correctly. Oh, no, I lost it. But, I don't think Saturn's moons are at a... What did I do? Y'all saw nothing. Damn it. I got this. We got this. There we go. Of course, I botched it again, but it's okay. It's such a bad quality image. It's such a bad quality image. It's hilarious. Look at these pixelations. This is as far as I can zoom in. I definitely killed something. So fun fact, you can see the orbit of everything around the sun if you have it turned on, and it's really cool. So let us go into nighttime mode. And then there's stars again. Huzzah! Oh, that's true. I'll look into seeing if there's a Saturn survey for the nighttime stream. That way, if you want to see Saturn again, and if you're awake, we could look at Saturn in more detail on the app. So, let's see. I think what's a funny constellation is the Phoenix, because it just looks like a kid wearing, a sheet. You know, when you have a sheet and you go, ah, and you like twist the sheet around yourself like you're gonna be a butterfly. This is what the Phoenix looks like. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. Oh, crud. I totally thought the tail was the head. Well, we're gonna forget that. Nah. But you can see a lot of cool things, and as you can tell, the southern hemisphere looks a lot different from the northern hemisphere. So you love this description? Thank you. I try my best. So let's look at Castor and Pollux. The twins. Here's Gemini. So it's literally just two people holding hands. Here is the holding hands. And it is really cute. They're like, bro. Of course, they're twins, but it's just, you know. So, does anyone else have any? Right? It's pretty cool. Let's see. I might have the moon off. No, the moon is just under. Ah, the moon is just there. So let us go to a different date and time. There. Meow. There we go. This is a lovely date and time. Because you see, you have the Milky Way. You have all this fun stuff happening, and the moon. So we can zoom in on the moon. The image for the moon actually looks pretty cool. It's not the highest res image of the moon, but it looks super dope. And I think it's really funny how I keep trying to click on the moon, and it clicks to the stars behind it. Great job. There we go. Can we see some of the galactic filaments? That's a good question. How would we search for that? Da, da, da. Caldwell 24 probably has. That's not showing up. I might have to download an extra patch to see it. Let's see if the NGC number 1275. And of course it's underground. That's okay. There we go. Now to get a good image of it, I probably would have to download a plugin or something, but that's not a moon, that's a star destroyer. Ah. There we go. Yeah, I would probably have to download a plugin. Let me jot it down so I can see if there's a plugin so that we could view it later tonight. You think Ursa Major? Let's see where Ursa Major is. I can't see Ursa Major though. Not from the southern hemisphere at night right now. No. Because we're too far south. Mm-hmm. Do. We could see cool stuff over here that we wouldn't be able to see. Did I turn off atmosphere? I did turn off atmosphere. So if we turn off the atmosphere, so if we imagine that we have no atmosphere, oh no, we're all dead. But if we had no atmosphere, we could see the Milky Way like this. And it's super cool. Now, granted, we still wouldn't be able to see some of these items with our bare eyes. It would probably look kind of like this. Or like this. So it's still pretty nifty. So I'm going to turn atmosphere back on, unless you guys want to go back. I could go back to Tokyo, yeah. Let's go back to Tokyo. Boom. Here we go. Back in the northern hemisphere. We see Sirius. We say hello to the doggo. There's Ursa Minor. And then Ursa Major points to it. There's Ursa Major. Fun fact. Ursa Major, part of the Big Dipper. I'm going to just pause it because it's getting... So if we have the ladle of the Ursa Major, these two stars, Meroc and W, they form a line and they go zoop all the way to Polaris. And it's pretty nifty. So I'm just gonna... Yeah. So let's see. I still don't know how to pronounce this. I've assumed it's pronounced Kokob. But I just think of corn on the cob. So I think that I would have to... Oh yeah, fun fact. Alcor and Mizar are at double stars with each other. This is in the Big Dipper. So oh, there's a galaxy over here. It's back to the Pinwheel Galaxy. Hey, Pinwheel Galaxy. So you might be wondering what this giant bright thing is in the sky. Fun fact. It's an artificial satellite. So we could see it moving pretty fast across the sky. So there's different types of... Sure. So there's different types of satellites. One is a geospatial satellite, which it gets launched and then it stays at the same place. And then there are these other satellites which will float around the night sky. They're actually a really big nuisance to observational astronomy, for optics at least, because they literally get in the way of images. There's so many of them now that it's very difficult for people to have any observations without it just being littered with all these little streaks of these satellites going across. So, sure. NGC 4038. Am I reading that right? Yeah. Let's look. Oh, nice. The antennae. This is a nice one. Let's turn off atmosphere so we can see it better. It's real pretty. Jin, you have some good ideas of what we should look at, because it's really pretty. Mm-hmm. So these galaxies appear to interact with each other So we wouldn't be able to see either of these with the naked eye because they are too dim, but they interact with each other in that I think what it looks like is that they're colliding. But let me double check. Ta-da. To the Google. Are they colliding? They are currently going through a starburst phase in which the collision of clouds and gas and dust with magnetic fields causes rapid star formation. So there is a collision. That's super cool. Da-da. Da-da. Now, let's see. It looks really nice. I'm glad you picked it as well. So, let us turn atmosphere back on. And of course, if we were... Apparently, I turned the ground off too. So let's see. What time of night would we be able to see it? Oh no. Would we be able to see it? Let's see. Is there a time of night when we'd be able to see it? Not from Tokyo, it appears. Where would we be able to see it? Let's try Sweden. Boo. Sweden. Okay. Now, would a place this far north be able to see it? Not during nighttime. Darn. Let's try another one. Okay. Let's go for Madagascar. That's Portugal. Madagascar. I'm just super curious, since it's so close to the sun, just can a person realistically see it? Hypothetically, could see it. I think you might have to be in Australia or like Antarctica. Yeah, you have to be really far south to see it properly. Sure, let's go to Mexico City. Let's reset the location list. Mexico City, Mexico. Let's see. Let's go to nighttime. Okay. Let's not worry about that one. So there's actually a lot of cool things you could see from Mexico City. Of course, this is, I will admit, September 14th of this year. But we can ignore that. Because for the most part, oh, this is cool. Blue Horsehead Nebula. Jabba. I like this star name. Jabba. Or is... I wonder why it's called Jabba. It's a double star. We would technically be able to see the star in the night sky if we were potentially in a rural county or zone not terribly far away from Mexico City. It looks super nice. It looks kind of like a stingray to me, not a horse head. So let's see. What else is over here? What is this Ophiuchus Nebula? Oh, this is cool looking. And Antares Nebula. Antares is a really cool star. It's in Scorpio, as you can probably guess. There's just this huge nebular cluster thing going on around it. I wonder if it'll... Nah, it won't. Oh well. this is probably the best one to view it at. Mm-hmm. This crab globular cluster. Oh, yes. Oh, yes, we are, we're just going to go into the light. We have gone into the light. That is there are some really cool things in space. And I'm glad I've been able to show it with you guys and have this time with you guys. Let's see, what's this? It's not showing up. Fang! Oh my goodness, its name is Fang. It burns, yes. Burn with me. We shall burn bright and beautiful. Mm-hmm. How do you pronounce this? Shubba. Shubba? D Shubba. Space. There, right, Crit? There's just so much space. And it's so cool. Eruptive variable star double star. That sounds really explosive. So what is this? It's just M80. That's a Messier object. So you might see sometimes these items in the night sky with the letter M in front of them and then a number. These are Messier objects, and they're a group of a little over 100 objects in the night sky that were cataloged by Charles Messier, which is a French dude. He was both like a geologist and a physicist, and he really loved comets. And he cataloged these night sky items to say, these items in the night sky are not comets. Please disregard them, for they are not cool. And we mostly use this catalog right now to say, oh, look at these cool things in the sky. They're totally cool. And in fact, at least before the pandemic, I don't know if it's still going on, there is this thing called the Messier Marathon, where people would get with other people and try to view as many of the Messier objects in one night as they could. So this is a globular cluster, the Eagle Nebula. Eagle Nebula is cool. Let's see. Look at how beautiful it is. And it went to the right zoom in. Yes. The Eagle Nebula is really pretty. I was not aware it was also called the Star Queen Nebula. That sounds fancy. Some of these images are really lovely. And it's also so much easier to view the night sky when you don't have to worry about cloud cover. So if you are new to viewing the night sky, what you could do is you could download this, which is Stellarium, or another one. There's like Sky Map and a few other apps out there to either your phone or your computer or a tablet. And I wouldn't personally have the deep sky objects in, but if you want to learn the various constellations and some of the stars, you can have the names of it on and other things. There's also night mode. If you turn on night mode, it turns everything red. Do you guys know why it turns everything red? It's because this doesn't turn on certain parts. So we have rods and cones in our eyes, and the red light doesn't activate half of one of them. I don't remember which one. But the red light makes it easier to view at night so that your eyes don't have to adjust every time you are going from the screen to the sky. And though it is a little bit harder to read and a little bit harder to see, it does help a lot when you're trying to learn things and look at the sky at the same time. But be prepared. I'm about to switch it back to not night mode. There we go. And it's super cool. So we can, if I'm curious, so let me turn off ground. Let me turn off atmosphere. And we are going to, oh no. I want to focus in on you. I want to see if the, what in the heck? Why won't you? There we go. I want to see if it'll show the phases of the moon. So why does it unfocus? Why does it do that? That's super not cool. Oh, it does show the phases of the moon. Oh, that's so cool. Okay. I am fully entertained. So, is there anything else people would like to see? Ooh, there's Jupiter. Let's take a look in at Jupiter. Now, out of the gate, you can easily see with Stellarium, with the app that I'm currently using, Jupiter and the 4 Galilean moons. And then if you zoom in even more, you can see the other moons. I am shocked that they have this good a picture of Io. Let's see if they have other... No. Let's see if they have other... Oh man, they do have other images of the other moons. I am shocked. This is amazing. Oh no. My stomach just made a growl. Oh no. I don't know how to pronounce this, but it looks cool. I don't know. I will admit I don't know any of these constellations. So what are these constellations? This is a foot. This is a pipe. This is a fish foot. Here's a microscope. Which has to have, whatever this constellation was, it's either a new constellation or it was changed. Because I am not convinced that a microscope existed. And when Ptolemy existed. I was right. This is one of the 12 constellations created in the 18th century. So there were apparently 12 constellations created in the 18th century. Probably because humans had better telescopes and could see darker things. So I really like how silly Ursa Minor looks. because the tail is ridiculous. Like, this is like a cat. If you take a bare face and the rest is a cat. That is how Ursa Minor looks. And then we have the giraffe. So I am getting pretty hungry. So are there any more requests? Any other things that we think would be cool to look at? What's this? This is pretty. Do. What other things? Oh, that's in the ground. That's really, we're not gonna be able to see it. Dang it. Okay, goodbye. Apparently, from wherever we are, apparently Mexico City can't properly see Ursa Major. At least at this time of year. Well, let's go back to now. So there's a nifty little button over here that just lets you go to now. Which just makes me think of Spaceballs, where it's like, what do you mean now? Now. We are viewing now. What? Yes. Some more nebulae? Sure. Which nebulae do we want to look at? Let's turn off constellation art because they're getting in the way. Let's see. The Ring Nebula seems like it'd be a good... So the Ring Nebula, which of course is under... So Mexico City, I am saddened. So let's go to... This looks like Mara, Canada. Let's see if there's... Dang it. Let's just go to Ring Nebula. There we go. The Ring Nebula. It looks super cool with the blues and the reds, and oftentimes they use different filters to make there be like yellows, or they'll use like a whole bunch of different filters together. So this image looks like it was compiled using like 3 filters, but sometimes they can go super cool. Yeah, I do like the ground. Clearly, I like the ground. I should eat. I mean, I've had 1 cookie today. I am fine. But yeah, the ground loves me today. Clearly it does. The Trifid Nebula. Let's go to the Trifid Nebula. I want to see if it looks cool. I also want to see if we go into the ground. We went into the ground! We apparently are never leaving the ground. Wait a minute. Are we just stuck in the ground? Oh! Oh! Aha! Yes? Can we see it? Can we see it? Yes! We can see it. Haha! The Trifid Nebula. What? Yo. I don't need to be told what to do, guys. I don't need food. I have beverage. I think it's really interesting how all these different and cool objects are so close together in our night sky for us, for our own like visual part, and then we have the fact that all of these things are hundreds, if not thousands, of light years away from each other in reality. I think that's super cool. So, you guys. So I think, is there a Luna Nebula? Hold on. Let's look. Luna. No. Dog. There is a running dog nebula. Here, you can use have a I'm sorry. But there is a running dog nebula. Oh, damn it. Oh, you didn't hear that. I thought I switched back to this screen. I'm sorry, guys. That's my mistake. I know, I've seen pictures of your dog, and while your dog seems super cute, I'm afraid, no nebula named after her. There is also a running chicken nebula, which I don't know, is it the same thing? Oh, hold up. It's underground right now. I guess we can't see it from where we're at. Okay. That's fine. We're just gonna turn the ground off. 'Cause I wanna see the running chicken nebula. Yeah. I have no idea how this is a running chicken. But it's a running chicken. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, my friend. But your dog needs to have a bigger footprint to have a nebula named after it. Like this chicken. Whoever this chicken was. They did something, and now there is a running chicken nebula. You see a demonic chicken face? I don't see it. So let's see. There also appeared to be a running man. Yeah, a running man nebula. What's the running man nebula? Whoa. Oh, there's no image. That's helpful. That's super helpful. That's not actually helpful. I wanted to see the running man nebula and compare it to various other things. There we go. I had atmosphere turned on, and apparently it's just very close to the sun right now. Huzzah! I still don't see it. As opposed to just the entirety of Orion's nebula, though. The big star is the eye. There's a comb over it? Hold up. What do you mean there's a comb over it? The big star is the eye. Oh, I think I see it. But I don't think that's... I think I see the face that you're talking about. The red flap of ski? I don't get it. I'm sorry. But yeah, I think that this will conclude. Oh, skin. You need a field trip. I need a field trip to a farm? Okay. Um, Once the pandemic is over, I can take a field trip to a farm and learn about various things there. But right now, I won't. So, I think that I had a lot of fun, and I hope you all had a lot of fun. So, um, I would like to take this moment to say if you have any ideas of what you want to see later tonight, if you want to hang out with me later tonight, I'll be doing another stream at 10 p.m. EST as part of the second part of the Getting to Affiliate celebration. And I am going to be taking suggestions for nebulae and galaxies and other interesting, cool things that we can talk about because I love space and I would love to hear what you guys want to look at. Also, we can totally look at various other places in the map. So if you have an idea for like, I want to see what the Grand Canyon star night sky would look like from like the 1960s. We can do that. So just keep that in mind. And if you want to stop by our stream later tonight, I would very much appreciate you being there. So that's about it. I hope you all had fun, and that's it for me. I am probably going to take all of your recommendations and go get some food now. Good night. Oh shit, raid. Okay, hold up. I forgot about raiding. I know, almost a whoops. Okay, I'm still here though. So who shall we raid? Stream manager. Raid channel. Who's online? I'm totally not here. I don't know who's online, so I'm just going to raid these people. It didn't like me trying to raid someone. Well, that's silly. It won't let me raid. I'm so confused. Well, I tried. So, good night, everyone. Oops.